We are on the last day of mandatory minicamp, and then the fellas get a little bit of a break. We'll be back next week to finish out the final round of OTAs, and then we are breaking for the summer. And we've got 91 days before the NFL season begins on September 7th. The best thing to come out of today was Calvin Johnson was at the practice. He was actually scouting for his camp that he's going to have in a few days, and it was nice to see him, man, mingling with the likes of Brad Holmes. Maybe we're getting closer to a resolution with that situation. We got one clip today. When we get to it, I will bring it in. I'm glad I found it. I had to log into my Instagram via my computer. I've never used Instagram, so I better get used to doing that, I guess, because they put some stuff over there and some stuff on Twitter. But we're going to have to use our imagination for these in-game scenarios that the Lions had this time around. So again, coming from Pride of Detroit, everything will be linked in the description below. Here is the scenario for the Detroit Lions heading into this offensive drive. It says the offense was down 9 points with 1:55 left, starting on their own 25-yard line. Now, you're going to have to use your imagination today. I went to go see Across the Spider-Verse with my kid. Phenomenal movie, and that's one of the reasons this video is coming out so late. So just like at the movies, we're going to have to use our imagination for most of this information. Says offense is down 9 points, 1:59 left, starting at their own 29-yard line. It's worth noting that while this was technically 11 on 11s, the offense and defensive lines were essentially doing walkthroughs, just making sure they were where they needed to be without actually contacting or pass rushing. Don't want to get fined. Here is the best thing outside of Calvin Johnson. Best news today. The entire first team offensive line was together, including Frank Ragnow at center and Halapoulivaati Vaitai at right guard. That is something we did not see all of last year as the season started. Now we've got to get there. So he hurt his back in training camp last year. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, and we can get these guys on the field. Here's what the first teamers did on that drive. Says Goff quickly got the Lions into scoring position with 2 plays to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who continues to be the most consistent player on the field between St. Brown's pickups of 10 and 29 yards. Afitu Melifonwu at safety had a textbook breakup of a well-thrown bomb to Khalif Raymond. A nice post route from Josh Reynolds picked up 17 as well. It's nice to see Jared Goff throwing some bombs after kind of the rough start that he's had. He seems like he's on one day and off the next. Things slowed down a little in the red zone as Alex Anzalone had perfect coverage on a wheel route to Jamar Jefferson, forcing an incomplete pass. Then Jameson Williams broke wide open in the end zone against Cameron Sutton, but he attempted to catch the ball, which was thrown slightly behind him, with his body, and the ball bounced off his shoulders and fell incomplete. It was one of the 2 significant drops from Williams on the day. Now, the way this picture is painted makes it seem like maybe Jameson could have caught the pass, even though it was thrown slightly behind him. We hear it all the time. He has to catch that. So maybe that's what kind of play that it was. Continuing on, after a 4th and 4 conversion from Brock Wright, there goes Brock again on 4th down, Jared Goff eventually found Williams, who nicely toe-tapped in the end zone for a score with 59 seconds left. So then what they did is they simulated a kick, a onside kick recovery, and they started from their own 45-yard line. Gardner Johnson did his best to keep the offense at bay with a nice pass breakup on a pass intended for St. Brown. However, a couple of plays later, the Gardner Johnson and Sutton had a coverage breakdown. I think that's a typo. And St. Brown broke free on a wheel route and had for a 30-yard touchdown. The third-year receiver celebrated by throwing the ball directly over my head. I'm hoping the Lions don't release the video because I flinched hard. Well, Jeremy, it looks like we actually have that coverage. So too bad for you, young man, because we are about to have some fun with this clip. Now, the good news for Jeremy is they actually do not show. They don't show you can't really see him. And that's the good news, because you can see Tim Twentyman, but you can't see Jeremy. So that's good for him. So let's take a look at this play. the one that Jeremy Reisman is referring to, and this is St. Brown on the wheel route. Let's take a look. Got it. Still got the moves, man. And went full celebration mode. Now, that's Tim Twentyman right there. Let's watch that one more time. And then we'll pause it. Let's see if we can catch Jeremy and his reaction. Launched it. And there's Tim Twentyman. So I'm guessing Jeremy Reisman is the guy right behind him, but I am not too sure. So those were just some of the things. Then they had a second team out there as well. And then we even got a kicker update. Now, here's where this thing gets real juicy when it comes to kicker, because XFL kicker John Parker Romo. You can't help if you hear the name Romo, you want to say Tony. John Parker Romo is winning the battle between newly acquired Riley Patterson and himself. Michael Badgley has not kicked in front of the media, and they're not certain, 100% sure why. But here's what happened during the kickoff as far as they call it a kicker off, which is funny. Here's what things look like. It says, after both kickers missed their 52 yards attempt, this is in a game-tying or a game-winning scenario here. The Lions ended practice with a kicker off between Patterson and Romo. Granted, it was fairly a windy day. Yes, it was, but it was not a very impressive performance for either kicker. Here's how the 10-kick challenge played out. And we see Patterson, we have O's is the makes and X's are misses. So from 43 yards, they both hit it. Patterson missed from 43. Romo did not. Romo seems like he looks like he missed from 48, 53, and 50, went 7 out of 10. And then Patterson made from 45, 48, 50, and 48, and then 53 right there. Romo's final game-winning kick bounced off the upright and in. Well, we know all about stuff bouncing off anywhere on the goalpost. We've been there before. So just a little something. Make sure you check out the description for the rest of the article. Check it out. Show some love to Pride of Detroit. Without those guys, man, we could not have even this discussion. I know that it is pajama. It's a pajama party. I know that. But this is football, man. We're getting closer and closer and closer. And this is the most we've had since January 8th. So I will take it. So let me know your thoughts. What are you most excited about? For me, it was the offensive line, man. The one that we waited to see to be there for a while. We waited all last year. We never got to see it. That's what I'm most glad to see today. Let me know what intrigues you the most. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. Wanted to make one quick update, man. The studio is coming along very, very well. Make sure you guys look for some stories that I'll be making regarding that, man. I'm excited. Trying to give you all the best content I possibly can from a fan's perspective. I will always be a fan. Nothing more, nothing less. Take care of yourself. I'll catch you next time. And as always, go Lions.